So it arrived this afternoon, the Fighter Nxgen. Came out yesterday, so this came through pretty quick, so really pleased. Love the box art, which let's angle that a bit. Can we get rid of the, there we go, I'll hold it. There's the box art. It looks really cool. I love the Tamiya standard sort of art. Yeah, so this is the DT04 chassis, as it's being called now, and it comes with a torque tune motor and the Hobby Wing ESC, so really good. I'm not going to go into too much details, you know, we'll talk about the decals in a minute, but that's what it's like on the sides. So let's take the top off and see what we've got inside. Right, already there's a correction, but that's for when you fit the, if you fit the links, so we don't need that. So let's go through. I'm not going to take the tyres out of the bag, but they're pretty generic tyres, you know, the ribbed fronts and the spiked rears. All the bag and bits, these come in just a big bag now, not a box. I kind of like it when sort of they have a box and things, but we'll take that apart in a minute. Let's get through the main part. Hobby Wing, well, the Tamiya Hobby Wing ESC, I do like those. Now the plastics, Derek at Hobby Who RC, what sort of plastic it is, and it is really solid hard plastic, so I'd say definitely ABS. Will it, I'm going to take a chance and not paint it, but will it sort of discolour with age later on, like the wheels can have a tendency to do? Where are the wheels? But then looking at it, I don't know if you can't see it, but I can clearly see the plastic is a different colour. It is definitely much whiter than the wheels. But those are the wheels. But going back to this, these are the body panels. You can see the side pods, front piece and other bits which we'll know more about when they're fitted to the car. We got the new sort of driver figure, which has all the decals to do him up nicely. That is nice. I've done one before, so it's only my second one. Here's the cage section with more plastic parts. These, I don't know if they're more, might be a little bit more flexible. There's a new type of front bumper that will be flexible. I said that. Now this must be, yeah, it's got give in it. I can bend the bars, whereas on the other plastic, no, there's not a lot in it, but this might be a little bit softer plastic. But these are all the nice contrasting silver parts with the caged roof and bits like that. Then we've got steering parts. Now that's interesting. The though this is based on the DT0203 parts, it looks like it's got different rear hubs, if you look up here, and the front hubs are different, so that'll be interesting, but that's in the manual. Then we've got these black parts, which are shock towers and things like that, which is interesting. So if you look, there's two types. Like I said, we'll know more when we're building. Now when you get to the gearbox section, it is a generic 0203 gearbox output shafts. There's nothing different there. And then the new lower chassis that is similar to the others, but that is a complete new design, which we'll go more into in the build. Just drop the aerial. Standard 0203 suspension parts as expected. I picked the aerial up. Considering we use only short aerials now, we got a lot of tubing. Strange. Sheet nobody's interested in. There's the manual, which we'll do in a sec. There's the decals. And I was saying, yeah, I think you can almost, you could do the body twice. And what I was saying was, if you did say the plastic did this colour, you could always change it to the other colour decals, or most of them, so it'll be pretty good. But that is the sheet. There's a lot on there and a lot of cutting because they're not pre-cut, I don't think. No, not at all. So that's all the parts in the box. Here's the manual. If I lay it like that, you can have a look with us. Normal first pages. And we'll go, I'll be doing a full build, but the first part I think of the build is not so interested in the first few ones, 1 to 6, because that is a generic, like it is 0203 build. Even the suspension going on, and the first real new parts is coming in part 10, which are those hubs, which you've got a choice of ways of, I think, well, we'll get to that later. Shouldn't jump ahead, should I? And there's a new rear part here. Then the shock absorbers, well, that's about the same. They're the same internal parts as the 03. If you look at got the pre-fitted caps. And then the shock parts start going on with the cage and all that. Oh, that's why it's all those extra parts, because they're bolting the cage to it. I forgot about that. And then we got another correction. This is number 2. Oh, basically it tells you put in the wrong hole, so you've got to correct that. Now we've got the choice of wheelbases. You've got the short or long wheelbase. It just works on reversing the front wishbones basically. But I'm going with the short wheelbase because I think that's how I want it. I think it'll be long enough with that. Because if it's anything like the 03 chassis, the 03 chassis was longer than the 02. Yeah, more on the same, the other shocks. And then the new front, putting the suspension together. It's like a through pin, which goes on and rotates. So instead of a fixed shaft with bearings on, you put it all together, which is different. That is different. Again, after that, it's not a lot of difference. Then we get on to the new steering. Oh, sorry, ignore me. This is on the long wheelbase. So you're basically going through the same again, but it just sort of transfers it. Radio, fitting the rear gearbox, fitting the front, suspension, then starting to fit in the bodywork on, all that at the front, which is probably the whatever white parts, more of the cage, as you can see here, goes on. Side pods and the other coverings go on, and then we get to the figure, which you can paint up and use their lovely decals, and it'll be nice looking. And then the figure gets affixed to the cage part. So we'll see more of that, like I said, in the build. I'm going for it as much as I can. And then it shows you how to remove the battery. Let's have a look. Wheels, tyres, and it says remove 2 clips. The top goes up, the figure, turn the little thing, the top goes up, the figure slides out with the removal of the pins, and the battery can go in, and then just reverse the procedure. So it's not too bad, that's good. And then in this last bit, this is to do with using those option parts where you can use the turnbuckles on the rear to set it, but like again, that'll be more in the build. So, oh, I nearly forgot the bags. So here's the baggy bits. I'm not going to take them all out of the bags because there's too many bits, but there's your start parts, your differential, metal gear differential, which is nice, first part of the suspension, bag B, more suspension links and things in here, shock parts, more shock parts, even more shock parts, more links, screws. I don't know what that's to do with. Might be the rear bag C foam bits, double tape, and the last screw bits. More shock parts, gears, steering servo saver, and the torque tune motor. So that is everything which is in the box, but like I said, more detail in the build. But I'm looking forward to it because I love the DT02 series, well, the DT series, where I've got an 01, 02, 03, and now I've got an 04.